Earth science time again. This is Norris Teaches Science with me, Mr. Norris. Continuing with my Earth Science Edition videos. Um, in the past, I've been covering some meteorology topics. If this is your first video about that you're covering with meteorology, make sure you go check out the other ones and all the other videos in this Earth Science series. Today, we're going to talk about atmosphere and water. So, by the end of the video, you should be able to say, I can describe how water plays an important role in the atmosphere. So before we talk about how water plays an important role, we need to talk about how water changes between the different states of matter. So this cloud represents the gas, the cube represents the solid, and the teardrop represents the liquid. The first thing you have is melting. Melting is when you go solid to liquid, so that would be right here. Freezing is when you go liquid to solid, so right here. Condensation is when you go from a gas to a liquid, and vaporization, or some people call evaporation, that would be a liquid to a gas. So point 4 is here. We covered those before in the hydrosphere section of the videos, but adding two new ones. When you are going from a solid directly to a gas, that is sublimation. When you go directly from a gas to a solid, that's called deposition. Now, I'll pause this video right here and maybe copy down this slide with the terms, the picture at least, so that you can study those a little easier. Now, what is dew point? This temperature at which air would need to be cooled to be saturated. If you cool past this point, water will condense, and this is what makes clouds. This is also why sometimes in the spring or summer or fall or winter, any of the seasons, you go outside and you have that wet um, coating on your cars or on the grass. That's because the temperature was cooled below the dew point and the water could condense on the object. Now, when we talk about water vapor in the air, you can talk about two things: humidity and relative humidity. Humidity is the amount of water vapor in the air. Warm air can contain more water vapor than cool air. And relative humidity is the ratio of the actual water vapor content compared to the amount of water vapor air can hold. Now, if you live in, say, the state I live in, which is North Carolina, the summers are really humid. We have humid summers. It feels sticky outside in the summertime, and that's because of the water vapor in the air. Now, what is a cloud? A cloud forms when air cooled to its dew point. And we classify clouds because all clouds are not the same. We based off their appearance and their height. So let's talk about types of clouds by appearance. You could have cirrus clouds, which kind of look like these. They're high, white, and thin. You have cumulus clouds, which are right here. They are rounded individual cloud masses. They have a flat base. They appear rising domes or towers. When you think of a cloud, a fluffy cloud, you're thinking of a cumulus cloud. And stratus clouds, this bottom picture here, they're like sheets or layers across the sky, and they're covering most of the sky. But we can even break it down by height. High clouds, this means that their base is 6,000 meters above the ground. You can have cirrus clouds, which are high, wide, and thin. Cirrostratus clouds, which have flat layers. They're high, wide, and thin, but they're covering most of the sky. And cirrocumulus clouds, which are like fluffy little masses. The best thing about these warn that a storm is approaching. They're usually one of the first signs that some type of storm is coming nearby. And then we have your middle clouds, and they have the alto prefix. They're between 2,000 and 6,000 meters with their bases. You have alto cumulus, which are round masses, large and denser than cirrocumulus, but they're there. If you look at it, it kind of looks like you spread out some cotton balls in the sky. Then alto cirrus over here, they're uniform white to gray, covering most of the sky. You can still see the moon or you can see the sun through it, but it's just a visible bright spot. You can't see defining features. And the last by height is low clouds. That means that their base is below 2,000 meters. You have your stratus clouds, which are like the layers. You have your stratocumulus clouds. They're layers, but they have like scalloped bottoms or broken round patches. They're fluffy. And then you have your nimbostratus clouds, which are gray clouds covering most of the thing, and usually they're producing rain. And as I'm making this video today, it is raining outside, so we got nimbostratus clouds outside. Now, there are some special cloud types. You have cumulonimbus. They cover all three heights, and they're usually the ones that are producing those thunderstorms, the ones with, lightning or a tornado. Fog is a cloud at its with its base at or near the ground. So we are. People ask, "Have you ever touched a cloud?" And if you've been in fog, you've touched a cloud. Now, one thing clouds can do, they're condensed water. They can get enough water in them that they can form precipitation. And precipitation is any form of water that falls from a cloud. So let's look at some precipitation types. You got rain, which are drops of water that fall. You can see the rain here. You got snow. These are light, fluffy, six-sided ice crystals. Most students are like, I want a snow day. When you get an adult, you do not like snow as much because you have to deal with the aftermath. You have sleet. Sleet is like clear, translucent ice. It's little ice that's falling. Freezing rain. You can see freezing rain over here. This is rain that turns ice when they impact objects. So they have to impact the object and then freeze. And then hail are balls of ice produced by cumulonimbus clouds. The thunderstorm clouds, tornadoes usually have hail associated with them. They can be little small ones, or you can get up to like softball size hail. But these are some of the forms of precipitation. This is how water interacts in the atmosphere and how it's really important. Hope you learned something today, and I'm Mr. Norris, and I'm signing out for this video.